Congratulations if you have made so far. We will be discussing our third point in this video. If you haven't watched the first 2 points, go check out those videos first and then come to this one. Because if you don't know the first 2 points, this won't help at all. Now, what were our first 2 points? Respect money and be indifferent to it. Our second point, build your own infrastructure. Respect money, be indifferent, build your own infrastructure. Remember those two. Now we'll discuss our third point. Our third point is very basic, yet people seem to ignore it completely. And they fall for the trap the system has designed. Okay, this is understand your assets, your liabilities objectively. Let me write this down. Understand assets and liabilities. That looks like titties. No, that's liabilities, no titties. Titties is a liability. I'm just joking with you guys. Ignore all that. Okay, understand assets and liabilities. Now, the public infrastructure is designed in a way to keep you trapped. And you, my friend, at any cost have to avoid that trap. Now, to avoid that trap that they have laid for every single one of us, you, me, everyone can fall for this trap. The only way you can avoid this trap is if you think objectively, if you know consciously what you're doing. Don't fall for their traps. What is their traps? They'll put you on a hamster wheel. All right. That's a hamster wheel. That's the mouse. Happy mouse. You know what happens if this mouse doesn't run? He doesn't get the money in. And you know what happens if this mouse doesn't run? No money comes in, no bills get paid. No bills paid. If he runs, money comes in, bills get paid. If he doesn't run, bills don't get paid. Now, you know how we discussed earlier? And this is what I told you earlier, that we will bring this point. You know how these countries run on credit? That's a trap. They want you to have things on credit. So you are hooked. Now you have to work. You have no choice. Avoid this insanity. Avoid this insanity at all cost, no matter what. When going 0 to 100, don't have any liabilities at all. Do not. Now this is hard thing to do when you see your friends buying fancy cars. You see your peers getting a house. Keeping up with the Jones is a real effect, and you need to avoid that. I understand you want to have a new house, you want to have a fancy car, but do that later in your life. Do that very much later in your life. I myself drive a Toyota Prius, and that too my dad's car. So, when going from 0 to 100, have no liabilities. This will help you to avoid the hamster wheel. And if you are able to avoid this, you have your magic word. Freedom. If you avoid the hamster wheel, you have your freedom. And you, my friend, need to respect freedom more than anything. If you're tied geographically to your job, can't leave your job, Now you're stuck. You need to avoid hamster wheel. If you're stuck, the wheel goes on, and then you retire, and then wait for the public infrastructure to help you with your retirement. Time will come when you can buy assets. Time will come when you can buy fancy things. But before that, avoid that trap at all cost. Understand assets and liabilities and make them work in your favor. Now, in the starting of the video, I said everyone knows this basic concept, yet no one pays close attention and understand it. Understand assets and liabilities. I can't put enough emphasis on this. They'll make you think on purpose. The system is designed in a way that it will force you to think you're getting an asset, while actually it's a plain simple liability disguised as an asset. Disguised. Remember that. Or they tell you to buy a house. They tell you to buy a house for yourself, for your wife, live happily. Now that's a liability, my friend. Now that's a very big liability. Because that house is tied to a mortgage. And that mortgage gets paid through this hamster wheel. See how everything connects back to the hamster wheel, and this is what we need to avoid. So the first 2 points are very important. If you build your own infrastructure, you can avoid this completely. Work for yourself, do something of your own, help others build something. I'll give you a simple example. They tell you house is a liability. They give you a mortgage, 25 years. Your freedom's gone. Now you don't have the freedom to move freely. And if you can't move freely, you can't follow where the flow of this beautiful piece of paper that we created is. You won't be able to follow that because you're stuck here. You got bills to pay. You're running, can't stop. How will you justify this sanity or this insanity? This is just madness, clear madness. Yeah, when going 0 to 100, avoid it at all cost. They say you buy shiny iPhones. They tell you to buy new things, new cars. They'll keep coming out with newer versions. And the funny part is, I see people around me, they, let's say, have iPhone 16 and they use it. They haven't even used that device to its full potential. They haven't. They don't do much on it. And then they want iPhone 17, the newest version, because they've tricked your brain into buying the shinier things. You keep chasing the shinier things, stuck in this loop, have no idea where this thing is. That's why it's principles of freedom. The goal of this video is to set you free from the trap of the public infrastructure. This system has been curated over the years, so it's very efficient in tapping you into this hamster wheel. Let me get a sip of my coffee. And that sums up our third point. Which is understand assets and liabilities. When 0 to 100, avoid liabilities at any cost, because this infrastructure is designed for common people to carry debt. Once you start carrying debt, the snowball effect starts. It never stops unless you are very good with managing money, and that is completely another topic. Respect your freedom more than anything. Respect your freedom. If you don't respect it, and your overwhelming desire is not to have freedom, and your overwhelming desire is to impress people around you, it'll be very easy for you to fall into this hamster wheel we discussed. And yeah, that's it for this video. To watch part 4, subscribe, and I'll be posting a lot more content. This point here sums up how assets and liabilities will work in your favor if you decide to. Thanks for watching the video. In this video, I realized if I do all the points in one video, this will be like 4-hour long video, and no one is capable of watching 4-hour long video in today's world. So in grand scheme of things, we're gonna make episodes. This is point 3. Oh wait, that drops. Let's get it back. This was point 3. Point 1 and 2 are discussed in length in the previous videos. Watch those first and then get to this. If you have any questions, leave it below. I'll try to answer all of them. Peace.